Guys, welcome back to my channel. Today it's so nice outside. It's been nice all week, surprisingly, but y'all, I woke up with the biggest cold, and it's crazy because I don't have like a big cold right now. Zyrtec, y'all, I take Zyrtec like every day. It's just sad because my allergies, and then I'm allergic to my dog. I always gotta give y'all something crazy before I get into these horrific crimes. But also, let me congratulate myself and thank you guys. We reached 800 subscribers. I'm so excited. This channel has been growing, and I'm still trying to I still like showing my lifestyle stuff, so I'm trying to get back to that, showing like my pets and all the stuff. It's been fun. Also, I have to get back to doing my hair and makeup because y'all, I cannot have these brows black. Like, I don't like black eyebrows no more, so I need to bleach this, and I got a lot going on up under the wig. Yeah, I gotta cut my hair, I gotta bleach because it's like jet black under here. So when that happens, I'm gonna do a video for you guys because I gotta get back to it. I was like, I'm not myself without my blonde hair. I really do miss it, but I have been enjoying the wig. Seriously, like it just looks so nice, and I really love the color with the roots. Like, it's so pretty. But anyways, I always gotta talk about crime on this channel. I love talking about it. It's just because there's so much awareness that we need to know about. We have a babysitter duo, a couple, who are charged with breaking a little baby's neck and skull. Okay, she's 21, he's 34. That's a big age difference. It's a big age gap, so I'm not even gonna get into it that much. That is really weird though. Sorry, that's just so weird to me. But a little baby, they're so fragile. If y'all look at this little baby, she's so tiny. She was so beautiful. Oh my God. It's just, how? So the only way I could think of is so many, unfortunately, it's so many ways that a little infant can pass due to the way you pick them up. If they fall, it's like they're so fragile. Their bones are not fully developed. They don't even have kneecaps. So I'm over here thinking, I feel like when they said broken neck and broken skull, I'm thinking they shook the baby. That's the only way I could think of. And the fact that somebody would even do that, because you had to shake that baby, I just don't understand it. And I have been seeing cases where there have been a lot of adults shaking babies to death because they wouldn't and I quote, shut up. And it's so sad because it's like, how can you do that to a little newborn baby? Because this baby is about a newborn. Probably not a newborn, probably a couple months or a week, we'll see. But it's just so heartbreaking. It's like, how evil can people be, and how the fact that they weren't even bold enough to step up. Every time something happens with babies and death, everybody had to go to the T to not tell the truth. It's like, how, y'all, somebody needs to study lying, because people really do go the extra mile to make up a lie, and it's really ridiculous. So let's get into it.
Police in Memphis, Tennessee say a woman killed her 1-year-old niece while she and her boyfriend were supposed to be babysitting. We're digging into these heinous charges filed against the couple and how investigators were able to determine how the child got these brutal injuries. We'll break it down with former crime scene investigator Alina Burrows. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber.
So we have a 1-year-old little girl who died by the hands of her aunt.
Little Callie Moore was just 1 year old when she died last weekend. And Memphis police say she suffered horrific injuries while in the care of her babysitters, her aunt, 21-year-old Kaya Moore, and Moore's boyfriend, 34-year-old Dejon Smith. According to investigators, the two had been watching Callie since Thursday. Around 3 a.m. on Saturday morning, Callie was rushed to a children's hospital out in Memphis, and she went into cardiac arrest and died about an hour later. An examiner found that Callie had a skull and neck fracture, massive bruising on her back, bleeding from her bottom. 1 year old, by the way. And that is when Moore and Smith were arrested. So to talk more about...
Okay, let me just go over what he said so far with this crime. We had the little girl, they're rushing her to the children's hospital. She has, the injuries, the broken neck, all that, bruising on her back, blood coming out of her bottom. Okay, I don't even want to imagine what's going to happen. I pray my mind don't go there with what happened in this crime, with what he's going to tell us that they found out and what they said, because I'm already disgusted. I'm like, how Like, y'all, it's a little baby. And I never know what to say on these baby cases that much. Because I know I be having a lot to say, y'all. It's just that sometimes there are cases that just sound so sick. And the people are just so disgusting. And you'd be like, how can you do this to somebody's child? This is your niece, so he's not family. He's not family. So I got a feeling he's gonna play the bigger part in here. I don't know why, but I do. Y'all, I did a case on it was another babysitting case where they killed her goddaughter. It was the girl allowed, because I feel like she allowed that man. She met on the street. He was older. She met him on the street, like, and they ended up going to like the house, and she took him over there, took the little girl over there, and he ended up sexually assaulting and killing that little girl and dumping her body. So crazy. And I think he was from Jamaica. He was an immigrant, but it's just insane. It was also a black couple. Wasn't a couple, okay? It was just ridiculous. But they all, like, these are not your kids. And let me hurry and also state the fact, because I should have stated that last time. I'm not saying nobody should do this to their kids, okay? Obviously. It's just the fact that how dare you touch somebody else's kids? How dare you hit somebody else's kids? How dare you, in the name of you know who, touch and murder somebody's child? That's just insane to me. And this is your niece. So I 100% already know he's going to play the bigger part in this, because he looks shady. He looked like he would coerce her to do everything he says. It's just by the looks, y'all. You really got to look at people, and like, especially when it comes to crime, I can look at it and be like, yep, it makes sense. And that whatever's about to happen, he was the ringleader behind it. I can already tell. Now, if it's not, that would be a big swerve, but that's what my theory is so far.
This investigation and what we could learn from this, I want to bring in Alina Burrows, a former crime scene investigator, friend of the show. Alina, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Again, wish it was under better circumstances.
Always.
Before we even get further into the injuries that Callie sustained, in your experience, though, is it immediately obvious in a case like this that there was abuse, or can it sometimes be hard to recognize?
Especially when we're dealing with injuries this severe that coincide with what we would refer to as shaken baby syndrome. Those results can be immediate after the trauma is incurred and in the hours after. So immediate onset, 4 to 6 hours post, we would definitely be seeing some of these symptoms.
And I think the age of the child, right? So if you were dealing with a 6-year-old who had injuries, and then it becomes a debate, where they fall on the playground, where they messing around. When you're dealing with a child who's 1 year old, I don't think it gets more defenseless than that. Then it could be more of a straightforward answer.
Exactly. And when we deal with infant death cases, these are primarily autopsy reliant cases, because we lack the physical evidence that we would have with other traditional types of crime scenes, right? We don't have weapons, they're usually hands. The infants can't run or move or defend or fight. So we really rely on the autopsies in these cases to paint the picture of what happened.
From a human point of view, how tough are these cases to investigate, especially like, a 1-year-old?
Yeah, these cases are very difficult on all of the investigators, from crime scene investigators to homicide detectives, the general public, right? Everybody hears about these cases. And like you mentioned, these are particularly helpless, defenseless part of the population. They're hard. And I wish I could say that I hadn't worked a lot of these in my life, but I've probably worked 20.
And it's crazy how hard, even from like my point of view, I don't even have kids, y'all. But like, she looked like a little Cabbage Patch. The baby like a little Cabbage Patch. You know, he had the little bottom teeth. They were just so adorable. And I just can't imagine. Like, I couldn't imagine. Thinking about the girl, like watching anybody like shake a baby. Why would you shake a child? I just don't understand that. When I be saying in the news that people do that, I'd be like, how can you physically, like, what do you think that's gonna do? You think that that's gonna quiet the baby? I never understood that. That's just so crazy. And then a lot of these cases with the babies, they try to make it seem like it's sudden infant death syndrome, which is so sick. It's like, where are your human morals? I feel like morals have just gone out the window nowadays with crime, because people don't confess. They lead people on, and they just have families wonder. And I think that's so crazy to me. I just don't understand why. It's so sad though.
I'm sorry. I mean, I have no other way to say it. I'm just really sorry these are the cases that you had to work on. It didn't appear that there was anywhere set aside for the baby to sleep. And when investigators spoke with the couple at the police station, they both reportedly waived their rights and then gave allegedly conflicting statements. So I want to look at the affidavit of complaint that was filed with the court, and it reads, quote, Moore advised that she left the residence and left Dejan Smith with Callie. She stated that when she returned, she found Callie more unresponsive. She stated that he refused to tell her what happened and told her to say that she fell asleep in bed holding Callie and she fell off the bed and hit her head on the nightstand. So Alina, let's first start there. What do you make of that statement?
Before they say it, let me tell y'all what I make off this statement, off that statement. Y'all, this was so crazy. This reminded me just of that other babysitter case I did. If let's say allegedly right now before they say exactly if they say what happened, because this is the girl's story. You left the baby with him. This isn't his family. So once again, you have, if this is true, you have just irresponsible to a T, like just insane irresponsibleness on her part, allegedly. I just don't understand, like, let's say if that's true, the baby hit her head. Why, like, obviously I would think it's a lie. These stranger dudes, I don't know how if he know that baby, if he ever held that baby, if he ever seen that baby. All I know is that he shouldn't have been left alone with that baby. That's if the story is true. It's just so much irresponsible, like, in just one person. This is not your baby. Why would you leave your baby, like, leave this baby with somebody? I just never understood. They always say, I will go into the store, I'll be right back. So much can happen in that time. And he said the baby fell and hit her head. Like, what? And y'all, it's just, oh my God, let me see what they think.
Typical. We typically see three things with infant deaths. We see the response of, I don't know what happened, I just found them like that. Or we see, I left them with fill in the blank, and when I came back, found them like this. Or they fell off of fill in the blank, right? Usually a bed, a changing table, something like that. So those are the top three stories that are given in these infant death cases. None of this is surprising.
To be clear, though, even if we accept that this is true, falling off the bed, would that have resulted in these kinds of injuries that I talked about?
Right. So one of the jobs of a crime scene investigator on a case like this is to document whatever they say in their statements that they fell off of and the distance between that and the floor. They're taking a lot of measurements, and they're also documenting the substrate. Right? Is it a concrete floor, a tile floor? Is it carpeted? Because infants are actually a lot more resilient than we would think, and they are not going to receive the type of injuries we're seeing here, brain bleed and skull fractures from falling the typical distance of about 3 feet off of a bed or changing table.
That's a good point. And with that in mind, as I mentioned, we have conflicting stories because Smith's story, very different. According to the affidavit from Memphis police, quote, Smith advised that Moore was yelling in the back room with Callie, and he heard crying, meaning Callie was crying, and he then heard Moore slam Callie into the floor, walls, and wooden furniture 6 to 10 times. He advised that he asked her what she was doing, and she stated nothing, but Callie was crying too much and getting on her nerves. He advised that when he entered the room, Moore stopped and he observed Callie unresponsive. He stated that after attempting CPR and putting cold water on the child, Moore phoned a family member and requested that they take Callie to the hospital. And he advised that Moore stated to him that Callie fell off the bed and hit her head on the nightstand. So, again, that...
Allegedly, until I hear the truth, I'm gonna have to say allegedly. They're so detailed. It's so detailed. So she say he fell off the bed, the baby fell off the bed, allegedly. He says the girl shook, or it sounded like she was ragdolling this little baby throughout the room and threw the baby down, and the baby hit her head. Or like, oh my God, like what was that story? Yeah, I don't know what's true. I just know that one of them are lying, or both of them are lying, or they know what they both made up to throw people off. That's what I think. They throwing people off. I feel like his is more believable because it's so detailed, and hers wasn't that detailed at all. I think you have to look at details. But looking at the picture of him, he don't look like, it's sad to say looks matter, y'all, because he don't look like he would know how to say any of that. Like, he been looking up some stuff or seen stuff on TV and tried to like say, okay, that's what I'm gonna say. Do y'all get what I'm saying? I could be wrong by looks, because some people do know what to do. But like, why am I not thinking that I'm over here thinking that he wouldn't think to say CPR. I don't know why. Because I'm like, why wouldn't she say that? Do you get it? I feel like it's like flip. It would be the other way around. Like her telling this story and him telling that story. If that makes sense. I don't know. It's weird.
Aside the idea of falling off the bed and hitting the nightstand, that kind of excuse. This is a he said, she said. What do you make from that version of events?
I think this is where the investigation is going to turn to detectives to do their interview and try to find out. Obviously, one of these parties is not telling the truth, and we really need to find out who's responsible. But in the meantime, they've charged both of them for this reason.
And
they should.
I would say, in my opinion, this other version of events, you know, it's tough for me to say, but slamming the baby into different areas would be a recognition that the injuries were severe, and you need a good explanation for why those injuries were more severe than, the baby just fell.
Right. And I think I've heard that the sister has even
And let me see before they, let me hurry up and see,
come to the defense saying, that my sister would have never done this, and any of the bruising that you see on the back of the child was a result of birthmarks, which are very common. It's called dermal melanocytosis, and these are dark gray, bluish spots that are found more readily in Asian and African populations, and those are on the baby's shoulders, usually on the buttocks or the lumbar lower area. So we see someone come.
But the problem with that is right here. Let's see, y'all. Yes, that could be a thing. And she said that the sister said her sister would never do that. Okay, look. But you got to think of butt, like she was bleeding down on her bottom. So I'm over here thinking, where did that come from? You also have to think about, look at the stories they told. Something happened. Something happened to the baby. But it could be possible that the baby fell if it was only that. But I just don't know what the bleeding. I swear they said bleeding on the bottom. Am I right? I swear they said that. I'm gonna see if they mention it again, but I swear I heard that. But either way, I'm happy they're both charged. Something happened. I think something happened. But why, if this is not true about the sister, if it was like, so let's say allegedly, if the baby did just fall, why would he make that up? Like, why would he make up a story like that, ragdolling? And it is crazy when you try to, that is, I would hope nobody, I pray to God that's not true. That is so insane to think that somebody could do, like grabbing the child and throwing. I would hope nobody would do that. You would hear crying, and I would think when seeing that you would go stop her. So I don't even think that's true right there, because any human being logically thinking, if you've seen her do that and you hear a baby crying, you would stop her and get the baby. That's just human logic, sir. So I don't even know if I believe that story because of that, because he asked her, what are you doing? And she said, oh, nothing. Put the baby down. If that's true, that's what I would say. But allegedly, like I said, if the baby fell, why would he say that? And she said the baby, then she already forgot her story, y'all. Didn't she say that the baby hit her head, or he did something, or he pushed, or she said she left the baby with him, and he said the baby fell. And she said, well, he said that she said. He said she maybe ragdolled the child. Y'all, this is stressing me out already. I should not be this stressed out.
Coming to defense saying, no, those aren't even bruises. Those are just this dermal melanocytosis. Just very easily to distinguish the two upon not only just visually, but on autopsy.
And I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself. I'm just curious, what can the injuries definitively prove? How much can they tell the story here about who's telling the truth, or whether any of these versions are actually accurate, or both are wrong? I mean, what can the injuries actually tell us?
The injuries are going to tell us more about the events that took place and less of who was behind the injuries taking place. When we look at shaken baby syndrome, which is a brain injury, we typically see swelling, we see skull fractures, we see retinal detachment. We have some of those injuries here. The impetus for shaken baby syndrome is almost always crying. which we have already heard from one of the parties saying baby wouldn't stop crying, and then this, results as that. So they're going to look at that. They're going to see, are we talking about multiple fractures, and where are the fractures? Fractures on rib cage of a child usually indicate somebody holding them tightly or squeezing them. We might see bruising on ankles, arms, wrists that might say they were being held by that body part, and then trauma was received after that. So injuries can kind of lead us in a certain direction, but on the whole, the first thing we see is that the child has rectal bleeding. That tells us that we've got internal injury. And internal injury to organs is not always going to be a direct result of shaken baby. So I feel like we have more than that going on. And it does, in fact, to me, sound like the baby was forced against a harder object.
And just to amplify that,
and that's just so sad. And so I knew they said the rectum bleeding. That is so weird. I'm gonna have to keep y'all updated because I need to continue this to see what happens. She said they left for a while. Well, she left and then left the baby with him. He came back and the baby, he said the baby fell. And then look at his story. It was so detailed. What if he did? Well, obviously, I think he did something on him. I'm kind of on the side that he did something because his story is so detailed to put her away. Does that make sense? What if he did that because he did something? He did that to make her look worse than him. Because either way, they're both going to jail. They're both liable for this child. That was just my theory. What if he did that story to make it look like she did it? Because, well, that is what his story is. But it's like to make her seem worse because she said she left him with the child. I don't know, y'all. This is just, I'm trying to get theories on this case because it's weird and it's too much he said, she said, literally. All I know is that little baby did not deserve it. That little baby was hit against some objects. Why would you do that to a child? Insane.
You have the brain bleed, a bruised kidney, high enzymes in the blood that were consistent with abdominal trauma, and blood in her lungs. Just what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that just tells you the amount of injuries we're talking about, the severity of the injuries with the child. This would lead me to believe more likely that it wasn't a single incident, that there were multiple types of forceful injuries that are taking place here. The bruising of the organs and that interior bleeding, that to me would indicate a little bit more than just picking up the child and shaking them.
Or they've been charged with aggravated child abuse and aggravated child abuse neglect and first-degree murder. And I will tell you, and this is a shocking update, we now know that Kaya Moore was actually out on bond on another aggravated child abuse case. Yeah, the details on what exactly happened, they're a little bit limited, but based on court records, Moore was arrested for a February 2022 incident where she, quote, treated a child 8 years old or younger in such a way as to inflict injury. The victim allegedly had serious bodily injuries, and she had been out on a $90,000 bond, which has now been revoked. Not a shocker there. And Smith reportedly has 2 young children of his own, also apparently has a lengthy criminal history in the Memphis area, because in 2022, Smith was apparently charged with aggravated assault when he fired a gun towards his child's mother during a custody exchange. The woman claims that Smith was angry that she brought her new boyfriend to Smith's home to pick up her son, so she sent her 2 young daughters to the porch to get the other child, and when Smith came out of the house, he allegedly fired 2 shots into the air, also pointing the gun at the girls in the car, demanded that they get off his property. He pled down to reckless endangerment, was sent to jail for a year. According to other court records, Smith pled guilty to assault with bodily harm in 2019, and back in 2017, he was apparently arrested for allegedly threatening a woman with a sawed-off shotgun, believing she had reported him and his girlfriend to the Department of Child Services. He's also apparently been arrested multiple times for alleged theft of property. So, Alina, when you hear about this...
Okay. We got 2 criminals who don't need to be around kids. Definitely her, who has a history. She has a history with abusing kids. Assault was on, then got out on a $90,000 bail. He has a freaking crazy amount of history, going to jail for a year, threatening the mother of his kids with a shotgun, threatening other people with guns. Y'all, are y'all kidding me? Look. How did that sister let her watch her baby? Girl, let me tell you something. 101, and I ain't talking about her, I'm talking about just the people watching this. Look, ladies, If I got a sister who did that, you're not ever watching my child. I don't care. I'm never trusting you with my child. I wouldn't have even bailed her out. Oh my God, this really changed the story now. I think they both was in on this one. I think she definitely had played a part in it. She obviously anger issues or something, because I feel like anybody that hurt a child got anger issues, and she has history with it. Oh, wow, that really took me aback. I didn't think they was going to say like that type of history. What the heck? Two criminals get together. She's only 21. Like, mind you, this girl is only 21. Why do you have a history of hitting, like, abusing a child? Oh my God, and he got gun history. This was just, oh wow, this definitely changed everything.
But right now, both Smith and Moore, they're being held without bond, and a judge has told the couple that this could potentially be a death penalty case, which, given the circumstances, is not surprising.
Wow, y'all already know me at this point, or if you don't, I'm all for capital punishment when it's proven, okay, when it's proven. But yeah, I don't like kid killers. I don't like child abusers. I hate them. They can go eat dirt up in prison and then wait for their sentence to the chambers. It's just that, like, at first I'm over here thinking she met this bad boy and, you know, he influenced her, and, you know, it could be, but dang, it's like, you got history too, sis. Her history is like literally with abusing the child. He got like history with guns and violence. Both of these people are violent. How were they able to watch a child? Well, he got kids, but no. How did the mom allow the sister, because that's her sister, I do believe. How did the mom allow her to watch her child with this man? Look, it's all about parenting. I know the baby was 1 and you trust people at that point. I wouldn't, but I know people do. But I know you can't stay by your baby forever because, you know, people go to work. So maybe she was at work or something. Could be the case. How is it that this little baby ended up with a broken neck, a broken skull, bruised back, bruises all over, blood in her rectum, messed up kidney, internal injuries? Like, that's not from a fall. Let's be real. Babies are little, they're gentle. That's not from a fall though. And if it, you know, it could, the crazy thing is that it could be if the fall was high enough. She even said that the babies can fall from like 3 feet, which is insane. I guess on carpet and not get those injuries. I don't even want to imagine that. Like, I just couldn't imagine me watching a child fall and like my baby fall. I think I would panic so fast and like just run to the hospital, and I wouldn't be able to talk because I'm like, I've never seen a baby fall in my life. Okay, I've never seen a child fall. I would panic so freaking fast. But I just don't understand. And then look at his story, y'all, when he said that he heard her slamming that baby into everything, and he told her to perform CPR after all this. When she said, oh, everything's going on, why would you not immediately call 911? If I saw that, I guess, yeah, you can attempt CPR. I know how to perform CPR on a child, which you should. Everybody should go take the basic life support stuff. Like, you need that. That's really necessary. But yeah, and with the babies, you have to, you know, you do the little finger compression, then you turn around, you have to hit their back really hard. But if he's trying to say that also could, that, you know, what's crazy thing is that really could also, it could say why the bruises would be there too, but they're not saying that. This baby was hurt, and this baby was abused by these two people, and no matter what they say, one of them did it, both of them did it. I got a feeling that both of them did it at this point. And it's crazy because every time something happened, everybody turned on each other. She said, he said, he says, she said. And it's like, I'm over here saying both of y'all are guilty, because that's insane. I got a feeling that it's a little darker because, I don't know, I feel like, did she leave him with that baby? I don't know. Y'all, this is a mystery, but this is going on the list to update y'all with, because I need a trial with this. And then they can possibly get death penalty, and I'm okay with that, because, you know, until they figure out what happened, we shall see. But unfortunately, my go-to for everybody is like, put them down if they kill like that. But I don't know. I would not have let my child with her. She has history. I don't care if that's your sister or not. No, she don't ever need to be around kids again. Yo, this is so sad for that little girl, Kaylee. did not deserve this, was only 1 year old, died by the hands of somebody, one of her babysitters, or both of her babysitters, and one of them was her aunt. So on that note, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Go kiss your kids if you got kids. If you don't, go kiss your pets. If you ain't got pets, go kiss yourself. Just love yourself. It's just sad. It's like, we need some more love in this world. This world is too evil. And this world is really too evil for kids. People are killing kids like it ain't nothing. And then they lying about it like it ain't nothing. It's just so weird. So on that note, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I shall see you guys on the next video. Go get some tea or something, because I think I need some. Bye.